Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is our snake baby, Obanai Iguro, in the spotlight today. He's really grown on me, actually. I quite like the guy. And here he is paired with a female listener, and this one is titled Zero Chance. Enjoy. When are we starting this meeting? Gyu asked in a bored tone as he sat against the inside wall of the master's house, the Demon Slayer headquarters. When everyone gets here, Tsunami shot back, angry that Gyu was being so impatient, as well as being angry that he was having to wait as well. Who are we waiting for? Mitsuri asked with a pleasant smile. Obanai and Yin, Gyome replied, bowing his head to his beads. It's always them, Moichiro commented blandly. Suddenly the sliding door clicked open and in stepped Obanai, his mismatched eyes searching the room for you. Where's Yin? He asked the group sitting there. Isn't she with you? Moichiro asked in a dead, uncaring voice. No, she left before me. Why isn't she here? The snake hashira asked again. Can we just start this damn meeting already? Sanemi snapped impatiently. We're not starting until she arrives. Something's wrong here. I was with her just before we left to come here. She told me she was coming straight here. Why isn't she here? Obanai asked, his voice very serious and pointed. Maybe she's gone to the shops? Mitsuri offered happily. Maybe to get food? No, he replied with a shake of his head. I'm going to look for her. And with that, he stepped back and out of the room and closed the sliding door and then turned away. Oh, great, Sanemi grumped, clenching his jaw together as he scowled with anger. I'm going, Gyu said coldly as he stood up. Sit down, Gyome commanded, his voice stern with a tone that meant business. We will wait. Obanai walked to the gates of the place and looked out, his eyes searching the landscape beyond, but being partially blinded in one eye meant his vision wasn't the greatest. Kaburumaru, he said, addressing his pale snake companion that was coiled around his neck. Can you sense her? Kaburumaru raised his head, his red tongue flicking in and out of his mouth as he looked around, tasting the air to get a reading. After gathering intel, he lowered his head back down to his owner and relayed the information that he had gathered. Obanai's eyes widened when he was told of the things that Kaburumaru had sensed. You're sure? He asked the snake, before running at full speed down out the gates and down the road. Your eyes flew open with a start, suddenly gaining consciousness when you could feel pressure around your head. What? You thought, when an upside-down world met your confused gaze. Ah, you finally woke, a crooked and crackled voice sneered. You looked to your right and saw a grotesque demon standing there, its red eyes glowing menacingly at you, its orange fang like teeth bared as it grinned. As you got your bearings a little more, you could feel that you had been wrapped in a cord of some kind and were suspended from the ceiling, your sword propped up against the wall on the inside of this building, within eyesight but well out of reach, taunting you. The demon saw you looking at it and grinned maliciously. Oh, you can't reach your toy, he jeered. What a shame. All you have to do is wait for your death. Death? You asked back with indignation. What makes you think I'm going to die? Ah, but you will. But I'm not going to kill you just yet. Oh, no, not yet. See, the only way to get recognized is to kill 2 hashira at one time. I will bring your head and the head of another to the king of demons, the man himself. Then, and only then, will I be recognized as worthy. And what makes you think you're going to be able to get another hashira to come here? You asked calmly, biding time but also curious to know if this demon had a plan. I've been watching you, O yin of the sand-breathing technique, the sand hashira, and I know there's another amongst the hashira who has caught your eye, and in turn has garnished your affections, the demon said knowingly, grinning with ill intent as he was able to reveal this knowledge to you. You tried to keep a neutral expression, but there really wasn't any point in trying to hide it, as he had just said that he'd been following you, and obviously had been watching you, so this wasn't a bluff. If you think you can take on the snake hashira, Iguro, then I'm keen to see you try, you said with a smirk, but being upside down for a really long time now was starting to make its mark on your health, and the veins in your head were starting to bulge. You could feel your life starting to slip away again. Is there some kind of curse in these cords? You wondered, feeling your energy dipping more than what you thought it should in this given circumstance. You tried to twist your head, tried to do a crunch so that you could pull your head up and so it was facing the right way up, but it was a futile exercise, and the demon laughed with delight at seeing you in mild discomfort, knowing it was only going to get worse as time went on. But just then there was a loud hissing sound, and the wooden walls of the building that you were being held hostage in were being smashed open, and your man stepped in, his yellow and blue eyes searching the inside of the building to first find A, you, but also to find B, whoever it was that needed to pay with their life for your kidnapping. Obanai didn't get much of a chance to survey the inside of the place before this demon lunged at him, throwing out orange threads from its fingertips towards him. Your man, having spotted you tied up and hanging upside down, saw red immediately, his face darkening, his white snake hissing ferociously from around his neck. The demon's threads were obliterated in a second as Obanai raised his arm with sword in it and cleanly snapped all of them, all without him expending any extra energy to complete the move, and the demon recoiled into the darker parts of the building to regroup for a second, while Obanai stood side onto him, not looking at him. This demon obviously had not been prepared for the sheer power of this hashira. Yin, Obanai called to you, finally looking back up at you. I'm okay. I don't know how much longer I can be upside down for, though, you said, your vision starting to go funny on you. Suddenly you felt the orange ties around your body and arms go slack, and could feel yourself falling, but you didn't have the strength nor cognition to land safely, but thankfully Obanai had run over and had cut the ties and caught you in his arms as you fell. Since Obanai was distracted momentarily, the demon took advantage, thinking he had the upper hand, and threw out an orange thread, managing to snag Obanai around the ankle with it for a split second before the hashira cut it off with his sword. Being perceptive, Obanai felt his energy abate slightly and put the two and two together. These threads must drain power, he thought as he held you in his arms, and your body felt slightly limp as you struggled to stay conscious. She's been tied up for an hour or so. That's why her body's taking time to recover. He looked up darkly at the demon. You will pay for even so much as touching my yin, he said darkly. Tell me, how do you wish to have your life ended, so I may do it to the exact opposite of what you've said, scum? You don't deserve anything, he said as he gently placed you down on the ground. Stay here, Yin, he said softly to you. Gather your strength. You could hear what he had said, but didn't have the strength to reply, so just nodded in reply instead. Slowly, Obanai stalked towards the demon, who knew he was seconds away from death, and desperately started to throw the orange cords out at the snake hashira. Nimbly, Obanai dodged the cords, sometimes only just moving his head slightly to avoid being touched on the face or neck, other times moving his sword across his body to counter the cords and slash them. But all the time steadfastly walking forwards towards the demon, moving deliberately slowly like a snake who had cornered a rat and knew it didn't need to rush to its prey. I'll take both your heads, the demon shrieked at Obanai, who used his sword to snake it out and lick one small cut across the demon's cheek. Will you? Show me then, Obanai jeered. The demon threw out another orange cord and Obanai dodged it easily. You're too slow, he said darkly. Come on, useless, worthless piece of crap. Take my head. You'll never amount to anything. The demon was well and truly panicked by now, backed right into the corner of the building with nowhere to go. As the sun rose higher outside, Obanai switched tactics and started attacking the wooden walls behind and above the demon, but not attacking it in large gouges, but in small increments, letting piercing rays of light through that acted like lances, stabbing and slicing the demon's body in random places. The demon screamed as shards of light cut into his side as he jumped to his right, but Obanai had already slashed a small hole in that wall there, another burst of light coming through there and blocking the demon's escape, unless he wanted the light to slice right through his middle. Wait! Wait! The demon cried out, holding his hands out to try and stop Obanai. It was just a joke. I'm just kidding. You're strong, okay? I know you're strong. I wouldn't harm her. You lie, Obanai said darkly as he raised his sword straight out above his head. I will feel the greatest pleasure in killing you. And then with that, he slashed his sword straight down, smashing the wall in half behind the demon at the same time that his sword cut through the ghastly being, making the being feel double the pain of sword and sun. As its body evaporated, Obanai turned back to you. You had managed to regain some of your strength now, and had tried to get up onto your feet, but he was right there by your side now, to grab you in case you fell over. Don't push yourself, he said gently. Today, after the meeting, I'll care for you at home. We won't go anywhere for a few days. I want to make sure you recover well. Thank you for coming to save me. I was hoping it would be you, you said as you leaned in and pulled the bandages down around his mouth to give him a kiss, kissing him directly on the lips. It will always be me, he replied, taking you in his arms. And there's that one for Obanai. Stay tuned for next week. There will be another Demon Slayer one-shot coming then. I'll see you then.